Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam, welcome to Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. Today we'll be having Vani Association of His Grace Rohini Suta Prabhu. A short introduction about Rohini Suta Prabhu. He joined ISKCON in 1974 and is initiated by Srila Prabhupada. From the very beginning, he was engaged in book distribution, mostly in Switzerland and Germany. Since 1987, he's engaged more internationally. Nowadays, he's married and living and preaching in Switzerland. He also travels and inspires the devotees in Russia and some countries of ex-Yugoslavia. So we'll be hearing from Prabhuji from 4th Canto, 27 chapter 8 verse from the topic attack on the city by Chandravega. I'll be sharing the recorded lecture from Prabhuji. Just give me a minute.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Read from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, 22nd chapter, text 8. Sapanchalapati putran. Sapanchalapati putran. Pitrivamsha vivadanan. Pitrivamsa vivadana. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. After this, King Puranjana, king of the Panchala country, in order to increase the descendants of his paternal family, married his sons with qualified wives and married his daughters with qualified husbands. Purport. According to Vedic system, everyone should marry. One has to accept a wife because a wife will produce children, and the children in their turn will offer foodstuffs and funeral ceremonies so that the forefathers, wherever they may live, will be made happy. The offering of oblations in the name of Lord Vishnu is called Pindodaka. And it is necessary that the descendants of a family offer pinda to their forefathers. Not only was Puranjana, the king of Panchala, satisfied in his own sex life, but he arranged for the sex life of his 1,100 sons and 110 daughters. In this way, one can elevate an aristocratic family to the platform of a dynasty. It is significant in this verse that Puranjana got both sons and daughters married. It is the duty of a father and mother to arrange for the marriage of their sons and daughters. That is the obligation in Vedic society. Sons and daughters should not be allowed freedom to intermingle with the opposite sex unless they are married. This Vedic social organization is very good in that it stops the promulgation of illicit sex life, or Vana Sankara, which appears under different names in this present day. Unfortunately, in this age, although the father and mother are anxious to get their children married, the children refuse to get married by the arrangement of their parents. Consequently, the number of Vana Sankara had increased throughout the world under different names. Sapanchala pati putran pitri vamsha vivadanan dharai samyochayan ya asa tuhitri sadrishai varai. After this, King Puranjana, king of the Panchala country, in order to increase the descendants of his paternal family, married his sons with qualified wives and married his daughters with qualified husbands. So here, 27th chapter of this elaborate story of Puranjana is further explained or described. So Puranjana, to remind everyone who is not familiar with the subject, Puranjana means the living entity who lives in the city of the 9 gates very happily. After long search, he finds his appropriate place according to his taste and desires, a place who is able to fulfill all his desires. This city of the 9 gates, this human body, has all facilities, gives all facilities to the Puranjana, to the living entity who likes to enjoy this material body. In due course of time, this Puranjana living entity meets also his wife, the intelligence. Intelligence by origin is in the mode of passion. The living entity by origin is in the mode of goodness. But coming in contact with the mode of passion, with intelligence, one develops different kinds of plans. The man is not satisfied anymore just with his little belongings, with simple life, and he has to extend or expand. So there's a house needed. Cannot just live underneath a tree with your wife. And to to get a house, you need money. So that means another complication. You have to figure out with your intelligence how to earn money, if possible in a honest way, as devotee. And if money is supplied and house is attained, then one makes a family plan. Children, how many children? And because the urge of sex life is there, because why one is married, because one wants to unite for pleasure, because the man by himself is maybe not so happy after some time. So one needs 2 or even many persons that one can expand enjoyment, gratification of the senses. And the more people come together, who understand each other, who have similar mood, similar understanding, the more life feels very happy, very nice life, and one becomes very much attached to this kind of life. Like Prahlad Maharaj says, who is able to give up a nice house, a nice wife, woman, beautifully looking, nice children who are speaking in very sweet language to you every day, broken language, broken words, like similar. That's very sweet, like the chirping of birds. And then grandchildren also may come. And so and then in this way your family is increasing more and more, and the householder thinks, this is very nice, This is my dream, fulfillment of my dream. So now I have so many offsprings, all expansions of myself. So he considers himself really the doer, the enjoyer, the Ishvara. I made it. And of course I worked very hard for it, therefore I have also right to enjoy it more and more and more. And by doing that, because of attachment to this family and everything what is related to it, he doesn't see how his life span is eaten away by the time factor, kala. Suddenly gets old, 50 years are going by very quickly. So actually the youth only is a few moments, and very soon one is already old, 40, 50. As Prabhupada is pointing out in previous purports here, in this chapter, that the best time of human being where he is most energetic and most successful is between 16 and 30. And these 14 years, or 15 years, they almost become an eternity. Also the childhood goes very long, it seems to be very long. And then from 16 to 30 is also quite long, because one is very active and doesn't see how the time factor is there. It's always the same time. Time is, but the perception of the time is different. Sometimes the time appears very fast, and sometimes very long. One can attain a lot, in short time, and sometimes, especially in old age, because we are slowing down, the movements become slower. We are not so fast anymore in our mind and in our, especially physical activities. We cannot do any more than what we did when we were young, teenagers, or even 20, 30 years old. We could do so much, running fast, and everything went very quick, But then suddenly we realize, when we become 40, the bodily apparatus is like a machine, yantra. This body is like a machine, the living entity is sitting in this machine. Like any machine, after sometimes some defects, and you cannot drive anymore so fast like when it is new. Someone has to be more careful and take care for the body after 40, 50. So it's clever, it's wise if one takes a little more care, not have a full drive like when you were 20. And for the Vedic plan is actually ideal to use his childhood for education as brahmacharya until 20, 25, and then after 25 enter Grihastha ashram and stay there until maybe 50 or 60 maximum. And then in this time actually one can achieve a lot. One has a lot of energy and opportunities to do something with his life, energy, and marry and have children and nice job and maintenance like that. But then after some time one has to think about it, one has to be aware about this time factor, that everything is deteriorating, this body is not eternal, it may fall apart any time. It's not a guarantee that we become 100 years old this time. Even 80 is quite record. Depends in which country you live. Some, like Japan or some other places, people have records in age. Become very old, 90, 92 average. but it is also gradually deteriorating. It is diminishing. And like Prahlad Maharaj says, we have 100 years maximum, and of these 100 years, 50 years we are practically sleeping, sleeping to recover the body. And then there's 50 years left of these 100 years, and of these 50 years, the first 20 we're wasting for sense gratification. Be very active in sense gratification to enjoy as much as possible. And the last 20 years we all see and gradually understand it's suffering, old age is coming. And so we have 10 years practically where we can use for engaging fully with determination in Krishna consciousness. But the Vedic plan is very nice to use the opportunity already from beginning, give a clear vision, that we have to become trained and interested, focused on Vishnu Gati or Krishna, not on sense gratification and maintenance of this body and family. It's hard work, very difficult to give up. First of all, difficult to build up, to attain it, difficult to maintain, and then difficult to even give up. So it's therefore, Bhagavatam also says, it is parabhava, yavada bodha chata. It's a defeat. Already from beginning, material life is a defeat, because we're taking shelter in a body who are practically falling apart gradually after some time. In due course of time, it falls apart. We are practically, like Prabhupada also pointing out in the purports here, like a death-centered person. Somebody who was condemned to death, criminal. He knows he will die. They will kill him somehow, the injection or cutting his head or electrical chair or something, So we are all like that. And before somebody dies, before he is killed, they give him a feast, right? They give him a feast to eat, or they ask him to fulfill what is his last desire. And then mostly his favorite feast. But how much he can enjoy this feast if he knows, that any it's my last one and I will die, So therefore a clever person always is aware about this death, who is always near to us. It's described in the Bhagavatam. Yama, or death, is always near to us, all the time. Observing us is also one of the witnesses. So we're not alone. Super Soul is there. Yama is there. The different devas are there. Air is there. Sun is there. Moon is there. Different stars are here. So we have so many witnesses about our activities. And especially that Yama, who is practically like the Super Soul, is always near to us, observing, and is always ready to take us any time. So therefore we have to be very careful about this Yama, about the dead, that we are prepared. Therefore the Vedic plan is very important to become Drita Vrata, not Griha Vrata. Even in marriage. One should not think I enter Grihastha ashram after I'm brahmachari, that I can enjoy. It's an illusion then. And frustration and entanglement, and in the end we forget Krishna. We spend so much time in brahmachari and education and training and so much effort to develop spiritual knowledge under the guidance of spiritual master, and did so much seva, service. And in the end, we marry and then we forget everything and spend all the energy and time that we have, in our to maintaining our griha. And because it is not developed, the training is not further developed and cultivated, we forget. Because human beings, we have the tendency to forget everything what we learn. And even in this lifetime, what to speak of next. And every lifetime also we have to learn again. But this lifetime we engage so much educating ourselves and become successful. And then death is coming. And then next life we become again, we take birth in as a baby somewhere. And have to go through the same thing again. And again and again, same education. We have to learn, how to eat, how to walk, how to identify different objects, what is good, what is not good. Again and again, some authority like mother, father, and later on teacher has to teach us again all these things, what we actually learned previously for so many years. And you can imagine how much time we already wasted. How many lifetimes, and even in this lifetime, how much we actually wasted, in not serving Krishna, not serving the master of our senses, the Lord of our soul. And therefore a devotee who sincerely wants to make progress in the human form of life, but is very rarely attained, he uses every moment. Every moment not engaged in Krishna service, he considers a waste of time. So therefore he looks every moment, everything what he in his daily life, he tries to engage in Krishna service by hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, etc. All these 9 processes given by Prahlad Maharaj. A devotee applies gradually more and more in his life, and he makes this his sadhana. Sadhana is very important. Either we have a Grihamedi sadhana or we have a Grihastha sadhana. Both need determination. The Grihamedi has the Grihavrata, the sadhana or the vrata, the vow, to practically enjoy. And fall more and more in the mode of darkness, ignorance. And the Grihastha, ultimately it's the same rata. If you are brahmachari, grihastha, or vanaprastha, or a sannyasi, they have the same rata. It's a trita vrata. The trita vrata means the firm determination, the ekanta bhakti, the firm dedication, first to the spiritual master and to the guidelines given in Guru Sadhu Shastra. Guru Sadhu Shastra, Jite Karya Aikya, Bharatam, Das Thakur. These are our authority. And if you are Grihastha or Brahmachari or Sannyasi, it doesn't matter. Kipa Vipra Kipa Nyasi, Shudra Kenanoi, Ye Krishna Tattveta, Say Guru Hoy. All of them have the same goal. It's all ashrama. Prabhupada says all ashramas are good. It's a place of cultivating Krishna consciousness. And everyone should choose his ashrama according to his capacity and opportunity. Where you are now. If you are not situated properly in the wrong ashrama, you maybe become weak. If you're properly situated in the proper ashrama, then you become more strong. A story is given in Gajendra, the elephant, 8th canto, Bhagavatam. Gajendra, he was the king of the elephants, and he had many followers, wives, and the whole dynasty of elephants. They're following in a very nice valley, in very nice water springs and like that, to enjoy there as much as possible. But then when he wanted to take his bath in this water there, pure water, crystal clear water, suddenly a crocodile grasped him, bit him in his leg, And the elephant, he started, of course, he was very strong, but because he was not in his element in the water, and the crocodile was in the element of water, the crocodile became more strong, elephant became more weak. And ultimately the elephant became defeated. He understood. I cannot help myself now from this dangerous situation of death, of this crocodile. And all my family members, they're failable soldiers here. I try to call them for help, but no, but they all run away out of fear. They're afraid themselves, and they cannot help me. And I gave all my energy to help them, but now they cannot even help me in the time of death, in the time of dangers. And he regrets and contemplates what to do now, how to save myself. Then he remembered, I have some slokas from previous life appeared in his mind. Because in previous life he was a devotee. Unfortunately cursed to a mistake. He became cursed to become an elephant. So, but he could remember these slokas, these prayers, these stotras. And he recited the prayers to Krishna. And in these prayers, even though he was in animal body, he could remember Krishna and offered him prayer. And the Lord appeared on Garuda. Vishnu appeared and saved the life of Gajendra. Killed the crocodile with the Sudarshan chakra. And gave Gajendra liberation. Moksha. Gajendra moksha. So it's a famous story in the Bhagavata. And there is also very beautiful, nice purport by Srila Prabhupada about being properly situated in ashrama. So he also wrote that nobody has to leave. He mentioned nobody should leave Krishna consciousness or because he becomes weak in his ashrama, even as a sannyasi. One can fall from any place. Sannyasi can fall, grihastha can fall, brahmachari can fall, any place can fall. One can fall if one becomes weak and is not properly situated and becomes illusioned by the Maya. Maya is very difficult to overcome. But Krishna says, although it's difficult to Rashaya, it's very difficult to overcome. If you surrender unto me, it becomes easy. Tarantite. It becomes easy, it becomes light. What is difficult for ourselves becomes light if we surrender to Krishna. So the surrendering process to Krishna is important. Krishnaika Sharana. If the surrendering is clear in our heart, every ashram will help. But sometimes maybe we need the proper ashram, and because the ashram is like a support. It helps us to increase our seva, our facility, gives us more facility for service. Therefore, the Vedas they prescribed this plan of Varna and Ashrama. So ultimately Ashrama, what is important for us, that we go from Brahmachari to Grihastha. And sometimes if you're fixed in Brahmachari already, it's not necessary to go to Grihastha, because Grihastha also can, because Brahmachari, if he's fixed and determined, can go directly to sannyas. It doesn't have to go prolong his and entangle himself unnecessary. But that's very rare, very rare. So mostly we have to go through the Grihastha ashram. It's a very nice school, very nice opportunity to engage our not only ourselves and save ourselves as a brahmachari, but also develop a family and try to make them Krishna conscious. If the Trita Vrata is there and and we make it clear with the wife already in the beginning when we marry what we want. If you want to go to Griha Medi or Grihastha Ashram and you want to serve Krishna, you want to go back to Krishna in this lifetime, if you make this clear with your wife and you help, then actually the wife is very helpful. It's a very good partner, a support. It's a support for the Grihastha. Because as brahmachari, maybe externally we look like brahmachari, but internally we maybe contemplate, and we have so many pictures in mind about maybe I like to enjoy this, maybe that, should I marry, should I not marry, oh, this also looks beautiful, that girl also looks beautiful, Mataji looks beautiful. It's a contemplation. Like we heard many times the story of the two brahmacharis who went across over a river, and one of them took a Mataji on the shoulder to help her to come to the other side of the river. She could not go alone, she was old, incapable to go. So he wanted to do this seva for the Mataji. He did this job and forget everything, and the two brahmacharis went on walking, two friends. Other one, after 2-3 hours, he's still shaking head. And then Prabhu asked him, Prabhu, what's going on? Why you're shaking all the time head? And then Prabhu told him, Prabhu, I cannot understand why you took this Mataji on your shoulder. Helped her over. You're brahmachari. You should not touch Mataji. Not think about it. Not meditate, not even in the dream. Now you even touched. So I think this is not right. You deviated. But then this other Prabhu, he told him, Prabhu, it's I did this service to this Mataji. It took me 5 minutes. I was not thinking. I wanted to help her as a seva. But you. And I carried her for 5 minutes, but you carry her already since 3 hours in your mind, because by thinking about it in a negative way. Like there's also the famous story of one brahmana and a prostitute. He had a prostitute as a neighbor. This brahmana always was in anxiety and upset about to have a prostitute as neighbor. And he always thought about it, negative way. And this prostitute, she had her way, it was her job, her only maintenance way to maintain herself. She didn't have any other opportunity. So in the end, when both were brought before Yama, there was decided Brahmana has to go to hell, and the prostitute go to heaven, or to Vaikuntha even. So the question came up, why? Why is it? The other one was Brahmana, he's learned, educated, took birth in Brahmana family, very nice person, pious person. And this other one is obviously a low-grade woman, who only had one thing in mind. So how is possible she attained Vaikuntha and he hell? So the reply was, Brahmana always negatively thought about this prostitute. He had always this in mind, this prostitute, did that and that. Always observed and heard, and in one side, in thinking and in looking, he was always in a negative way observing what this prostitute is doing. So he became degraded. Subtly he became degraded. But what was prostitute's attitude? Prostitute's attitude was, oh my Lord, she was pious lady. Oh my Lord. Unfortunately, I have this profession as a prostitute. But I know this is not nice, but that's my only way to maintain. But I only pray, please be merciful to me and engage me somehow in your devotion service, accept me as your servant. So that was her prayer, and ultimately she attained that. So whatever mentality, it's not important, our external activity, of course, we should not neglect it. So we have to follow. But even more important is the internal. When I came here to Vrindavan on taxi, and outside of Delhi, I saw one board of one guru. I liked it. Yeah. Internal engineering. You have seen it? Yeah, seen it. It was good. Sadhguru. I liked it. I thought this is good. At least, I don't know what is his philosophy and what. It doesn't matter. But interior engineering. In India, everyone plans to become engineer, make a career, go to the West. I have no interest in Varna ashram. Nowadays, if you ask somebody, what is your Varna? They cannot tell you. As they would not ever heard about it. So they can tell you the profession, or what their son is doing, and what the father is doing. And mostly everyone's dream and family's plan is to send their sons and daughters to the West, to become educated, so that they have an education from the West. When they come back, then they become easy to get job and a lot of money and appreciation and respectation, respect, honor from society. If somebody becomes a monk, a renunciate, sadhu, they don't like here in India. Even in India, in the land of Dharma, the parents, they take everything, they arrange everything, to keep their sons and daughters away from the devotee, Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, because Sadhu is for them like that. Somebody coming in saffron or reddish cloth, they immediately become like that, they become agitated, fiery. No. Because they're afraid, that this association of sadhu will take away my son, and then my son will become sadhu. And then what my neighbors and my friends and everyone will think, if they ask me, what is your son from profession and your daughter? Vaishnava. But, so it's for them impossible. Although this is the greatest profession, the greatest honor, become a Vaishnava, the servant of the Supreme. But people cannot appreciate, the materialists cannot appreciate. For them, title, of an engineer, a doctor, professor, this is needed. Why? Because of their extended sex life, sense gratification. They can enjoy. They know my personal enjoyment is limited, but if I have good sons and daughters, they can expand my sense gratification and my good name, and make me more honorable. And this is sex life, extended sex life. And for everything is turned around sex in this world. Not only personal one, but also have sons and daughters, and then grandsons. That's all the same. All the same impulse, karma. And Prabhupada in one nice lecture, I think he even gave it here in Vrindavan in 1972, these famous lectures about nectar of devotion, Radha Damodar. He narrated, from very beginning he makes clear, he describes Madana, Mohana. Madana, Moha. What means Madana? Means sex. The Lord, Moha, the Lord of sex. Kamadev is Mohana. He puts everyone in illusion, in Moha. But Krishna is Madana, Mohana. He puts even the Lord of sex into illusion. That means if one becomes attracted to Krishna, to the beauty of Krishna, Madan Mohan, who is more beautiful than thousands of cupids, then one actually can conquer this sex impulse. You cannot give it up. You cannot reject it or ignore it. It's natural. But we have to transform it into love and attraction to Krishna. Like Narottam Das Thakur in Prema Bhakti Chandrika has one song, of Atmanivedanam, I think. And in that song of full surrender, he describes how he likes to surrender his lust, greed, illusion, fear, and all these things and anger in the service of Krishna. Or maybe it's also under Ekanta Bhakti, fixed devotion. That he wants to surrender all this, because he says now he puts himself as a conditioned soul. I'm completely conquered by lust, greed, anger, and I served them for so long time. So now I would like to engage this in Krishna service. That these 6 enemies, plunderers, he calls them plunderers, dacoits, 6 dacoits, with plus 5 sense objects, 11 in total, dacoits we have, who like to plunder the living entities, life, energy, the prana. So he mentions to conquer these dacoits, I want to purify them, to engage them in Krishna service. Last he told, I want to engage in Krishna service by becoming lusty for service. Lusty for service. We have lust, we cannot deny it, but instead to enjoy just family life and hard work, what anyway leads to what is parabhava, lot of work, no parishrama. Parishrama means lot of work, and ultimately parabhava, defeat. Instead of doing that, I use my energy, the same energy, for serving Krishna in the association of Vaishnavas, of devotees. In this way, the lust is engaged. Greed also is here. Kama, greed, lobha, and krodha. These are the 3 gateways to hell, Gita mentions. So, lobha, Narottam Das Thakur, he prays, I want to engage lobha in the service of Krishna by becoming greedy for Harikatha, Krishna Katha, to hear and to chant about Krishna in the association of devotees. I can engage greed. And how to engage anger? Because that's sometimes a byproduct of lust and greed. Anger becomes manifested. So I will become angry of those who are envious or critical or blasphemous of the Vaishnavas. I will become angry at them. And for Prabhupada, many times was angry. Many these New Age gurus and New Age influenced people and not understand the mood of Prabhupada when he becomes sometimes angry on scientists or Mayavadi. So that or Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's anger sometimes, So they don't understand. They think, why Vaishnava can be so aggressive? But they do this because we cannot suppress it. It's here. So engage it in Krishna service. And illusion. How to engage illusion in Krishna service? Narottam Das Thakur says, I will feel illusion if I forget Krishna, and if I don't serve Krishna any time, every moment in my life. This is illusion. I will feel this illusion. It's not that the living entities, who are in Maya, feel that I'm in Maya. That's the Maya. That's the illusion, We think this everything right. Everything what I'm doing is right. They don't check it, That's the illusion. But the devotee, he prays. If I forget Krishna for one moment, or if I don't serve properly Krishna for even one moment, let me immediately check that this is illusion. This is Maya. Because if you are Maya, you don't check it. If you're really Maya, Mahamaya, you don't check it. Like if you are in Yoga Maya, you also don't check it. Because it's an energy. We're always in Maya. But we have the choice, either you be acting under the influence of Mahamaya or under the influence of Yoga Maya. So Madhana Mohana gives us opportunity to become attracted to him, to his beauty. He's Krishna, he's the most attractive, most beautiful person. Whole world, whole universe knows about that and becomes crazy for Madan Mohan. So this should be our goal. This should be our attempt. And then even Grihastha life or Sannyas or Brahmachari is the same. We have this, if the focus, the goal is clear, the object of our meditation and of our service, of our activities is clear, then you can stay in any ashrama and varna occupation and your life will become successful. So this is the Vaishnava's attempt. We have this opportunity to serve now Krishna in the association of devotees. And we also can increase family, because the increasement of something, of either family, of one's dynasty, or of our business, or the money, it's natural instinct, or I would say tendency of a human being to increase. We cannot stagnate, we have to increase. The whole world is going like that, of this increasement. Always double it every year, or at least little more than previous year. That is the quota. Never under, otherwise it's lost, it looks dangerous. They're afraid, our economy and everything will deteriorate, will fall apart if we go under our limit. So they stay setting quota. So as devotees, we also we should have our estimation, our quota of surrendering and service to Krishna. Competition is always there. It's not. You cannot stop it. Even the spiritual world is competition, but in a favorable way. So as devotees, we also may compete to serve Krishna, serving Krishna and distribute many books, maybe in marathon time or during the whole year. But it's in a favorable mood in serving Krishna, and who can touch Krishna first? Gopas, Krishna Lila. Who can touch Krishna first? They compete. Who can play with him? Like that. So there is a competition, and there is a greed, lust, and like that. And if we engage this favorable in Krishna service, then one actually becomes really happy. Genuine happiness is ananda, not the ordinary happiness, always mixed with practically defeat, exhaustion, I would say tiredness and anger and frustration and all these byproducts of material life. So the devotee can stay happily in ecstasy in Krishna service, and he always takes care, to also help others. First of all, he wants to expand his own Krishna consciousness. Instead of family, you expand your own Krishna consciousness. Sometimes we want to expand family, but our consciousness shrinks more and more to quite Kripana mindedness. Only I am mine, and my family, my enjoyment, and you don't see it, become blind for everything else around that. So we become shrink, our consciousness shrinks. What Prabhupada says, expanding Krishna consciousness, our Krishna consciousness, first of all our own. This is what naturally will come in Krishna consciousness, Anandam Buddhivardhanam, and to expand also the Krishna consciousness movement, to make more devotees, bring devotees to Krishna. So in this way we can increase Krishna's family, Krishna's devotees. And as Prabhupada is saying, the perfection of life is if we join Krishna's family. Krishna's family means Acharya family, to join the Sampradaya. It's very important to belong to Sampradaya. Without Sampradaya, we are like orphans, without father, without family line. Then we are lost. So we need Sampradaya, we need disciplic succession. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, in Kali Yuga, disciplic succession, people don't like. They think this is old-fashioned, they reject it. And instead, they take their own whimsical imaginations and speculations as the truth. And this is the illusion. Sampradaya becomes destroyed. And mental speculation becomes very prominent. It's not important anymore which Sampradaya you belong. It's important how nice you can speculate. How nice you can interpret things for your sense gratification. So this is Kali Yuga. So therefore we have to be very determined, to spread the Sampradaya, Gaudiya, Vaishnava Sampradaya. It's Lord Chaitanya's gift for the world, to make everyone clear how important the Sampradaya is. Because without Sampradaya, whatever mantra, whatever tapasya, whatever knowledge you have achieved, it's all Maya. It's all has no life, has no value. It will not make your life successful. Sampradaya vihina me mantraste nishpala mata. So we have to follow Sampradaya and Acharya line, and in this way our life will become successful. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. And maybe some question or comment?
Hare Krishna, thank you very much, Prabhu, for a nice lecture.
Right.
So you are speaking about how to engage the 6 enemies favorably in Krishna consciousness. So you spoke about lust and greed and anger. And what about an illusion? There is another 2.
Illusion, I told, I think.
Yes, illusion.
You should feel illusioned if you are not engaged in Krishna service.
Yes. And there is madness is also one of this. Madness is also one of the 6 enemies.
Yeah, become intoxicated or mad after Krishna. That's the most easy. But this higher level of consciousness, madness. Become mad for Krishna. Become intoxicated or mad for Krishna. Only enviousness, Narottam Das Thakur says, we cannot engage. Because that's our downfall to the material world, because we are envious. He says you have to give up, like Uddhasa said. Actually, you know how to engage enviousness? Enviousness you should engage in this way, that you serve upon those to whom you are envious. And it's Krishna and the Vaishnavas. Right.
So thank you, Rohini Suta Prabhu, for nice points you make. You make also competition is not impossible, even the spiritual world. So I remember once that big marathon, 75, 76, we were the top 10, yourself, Prabhu's, Mula Prakriti, myself, then Rohini Suta, and was there also Bryce Shika, Very still many books.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tripurari.
Tripurari, who are the top 10, even distributed 150 Bhagavatas in there by Prabhupada's. So when he came to Mayapur, to Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada here, Prabhupada was with Krishna Maharaj in Mayapur, say here there are such and such, they distribute 3,000 books in a month. And Prabhupada opened the eyes like Lord Jagannath. Oh, he put aside one book, and then Krishna Maharaj was saying to Prabhupada, oh Prabhupada, but these Bhagavatams are not 5 points books. Or GBC at that time was Hirananda Maharaj, and they say that evaluation of the books because we are not hardbound. But Prabhupada catch the idea that the effort to sell Prabhupada was the same, approaching people distributing books, And Prabhupada say, oh, in the spiritual world there are also competition amongst the gopis.
Yes.
But it's only for the pleasure of Krishna.
Yes.
So this and that of Sankirtan.
Left wing and right wing and they're competing. But they're all favorable for Krishna's pleasure. And they are all expansions of Radharani.
So now we have become a little old. We can go to the street to distribute books like before.
Still
so why you recommend now?
No, it's still nice. I'm not afraid. Women, I also read some of Prabhupada mentions, women feel afraid of old age. No. Somewhere I read that women, because they always want to look beautiful, and after some time they're not looking beautiful so anymore in the mirror. And therefore they have to put a lot of schminke and makeup, making themselves up. But they are not, because the body deteriorates. So they become afraid of old age. They always want to look young, because they know if I'm not looking beautiful, maybe my husband and my family will not like, my friends will not like me anymore. And then I'm lost, But a man should not be afraid. He told, man, even if in old age, it has a beauty. The old age has a beauty. In German we have the saying, the wine becomes more tasty the older he is. It's not that you have to drink the wine. The young wine, fresh wine, but if it is, people even they're ready to pay thousands of dollars for a glass of wine or a bottle of wine, if the wine is maybe 50 or 100 years old. Yeah, it's very expensive, even millions. It goes in auction. So actually, and also for the woman, for the wife is the same. If she has the husband and wife, they cultivate this inner engineering from very beginning already, or maybe they get some short experience about the fast by Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy, fast experience how life is going, and immediately they check it, and by Krishna Balaram's Radha Shyama Sundar Konitai, Guru mercy, one can completely dedicate life to service to Krishna and to Guru. That's Krishna's promise in 11 canto, that my devotee never falls. Even if he temporarily falls, he's never lost. I'm from within will always bring him back to me, to my lotus feet. So he's never lost. So maybe one has an experience, temporaries, but then you take up the track, But still, it always has to be clear already from beginning. And then even temporary, maybe there's some allurement, Krishna is not taking this seriously. And he's helping the devotee to come more near to him and to the association of devotees. And therefore, Vaishnavism is the only thing, what helps. Everything, if we are not in Vaishnavism, we're lost. If we are going to this impersonalistic New Age stuff, we are lost. People maybe are nice amongst each other, sometimes more nice than even devotees, one here, and sees. But ultimately they cannot help, because they're merged in. If you ask them about gold, they have no idea where to go and what is purpose of life. They have no knowledge, no goal, So ultimately they're lost. When their guru dies, then everything fades away, And then new speculation coming up, what becomes the trend. Yeah, because the materialists think the same. If the materialist, my wife, she was working for some time in one company, in a department store in Switzerland. And they have tough quotas, and in weekly, monthly, year. And even if there's only a little percentage, even if they make just a little more, over their quota, still they're not satisfied. They want more. And if it is materially possible, and the miracle is that they do more and more somehow, even materially, although it's not made for Ananda Buddhi to increase, it's actually ultimately deteriorate. Therefore, ultimately, this materialism, it will fall apart, because it only lives on economic development of increasing every year more the quota, and how long they can do it, because at one point they come to stagnation, and then everything will crash, everything will be finished.
One is exploitation, the other is liberation.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And the person is not counting anymore. And in the material society, person is actually a slave. You're not a non-person, you're like a machine. And gradually they replace you with robots. That's the goal. And therefore more and more unemployment, and then you know what will happen. And people become like animals, crazy. So about in Krishna consciousness, we have best philosophy, we have the best occupation, we have the best goal, books, service, everything there. Nice prasad also, of course. Only take care that you don't overeat and expand your body instead of the movement or your Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Glory to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. We thank Prabhuji for reminding us that when we should strive to maintain spiritual consciousness while being engaged in Grihastha life. I think Prabhuji's whole point was centered around being Dhrita Vrata rather than being Griha Vrata. So, and one point that for my personal contemplation, Prabhuji was mentioning, whatever is normally difficult will become easy if we do it for Krishna. Thank you. We are thankful to Prabhuji for sharing deep realizations from his experiences on Grihastha life. Devotees can unmute themselves to share any reflections if they would like to do so.